Hello, I'm your host, Joe Martin, and this is my co-host, Kellen. Today we're here with Joseph Favarola, and we're going to ask him a few questions.
So, Joe, what do you do for the town of Wilton?
So I chair the Economic Development Commission. We're an advisory board. We are appointed by the Board of Selectmen, and we are basically ambassadors to businesses. We welcome businesses, and we try to ensure that all the businesses in Wilton flourish and remain here for a long time, hopefully.
Yeah.
So we serve 2-year terms, and we do give recommendations to the Board of Selectmen based on whatever it is that we uncover in our meetings.
Okay, so you mentioned your role as part of the chair, and what do you do specifically?
So the chairperson, we follow Robert's Rules of Order. So the chairperson basically drives the meetings, drives the agendas, but any decision making, we do it collectively as a board. So we vote. Somebody makes a motion. There's a second, there's a discussion / debate, and then there's a vote, a formal vote. And if, the yeas have it, then it's approved, and then if not, it's not approved. So I kind of coordinate that. I set that agenda. I make sure the minutes, we do have to have minutes in by certain, times. The official motions, it's all recorded with the town clerk. So as the chair, I ensure that, that gets done. So we have our next meeting next week. It's public. If you guys want to, listen in on it, it's on Wednesday, 7:00.
And where are your meetings held?
They're held at Comstock,
Okay.
and it's also through Zoom.
Okay.
So it's they call it a hybrid meeting. Yeah.
What kind of things do you discuss at the meetings?
So we discuss various ways that we can help businesses, right? We do have some items that are standing items in the agenda where, other board members give updates. And then we discuss like new topics, like new initiatives that we want to do. Like right now, what we're discussing is we've done, the way we communicate with the businesses the last couple of years, at least since I've been involved, is we've been doing surveys. We see what works, what doesn't work, and based on those findings, right? And a lot of the questions on these surveys are open-ended, so it gives us a lot of valuable information. It makes it harder to analyze the results, statistically, right? What they're saying, but it allows us to basically take actions from those surveys and make recommendations. So lately, the hot topic in town for the last 20 years or so has been signs. I don't know if you know that there is actually signs on Route 7, Route 33, and in town directing people to the businesses. Now, you probably don't even see the ones that are on Route 7, Route 33. So one of the biggest initiatives over the last couple of years is trying to improve the signing, because businesses have complained that they lack visibility, right? Outsiders don't even know that there's a town center behind all those buildings. So we, based on those findings, we had a lot of meetings that we discussed it. Remember, we developed the surveys, we analyzed the surveys, we had to vote on it, right? All the procedures. Some of this takes like 3-4 meetings, and it'd be once a month. So that means we're working on it, 3, 4, 5 months on some of these topics. And as a result, planning and zoning is changing some regulations to help or improve the in-town signs. But what I'm doing personally in the EDC, we're going to be working with the local traffic authority, which is the police department, the town, and Connecticut Department of Transportation. We're going to look to improve signs on Route 7, Route 33. They're called, quote unquote, wayfinding signs. So it directs people that are traveling up and down Route 7 that there are businesses behind all those buildings. They're town center. So I have the EDC prepared a very detailed analysis, and we're going to use that to get it forward. I'm actually going to take the Board of Selectmen through it next week at their meeting to ensure that they are on board as well. And then it'll be the next initiative. Other items that we've discussed lately include some initiatives on how we improve, how do people find out, Wilton residents and out-of-towners, about what businesses are here. So we have a very good social media presence on Instagram. We have over 4,500 followers, and we do a lot of promotion, a lot of amplifying of businesses. So businesses that have like events, some kind of sales, or
Yeah.
anything they want to get out and you know, make a, you know, or create an awareness, they post it on Instagram. So we've been talking a lot about promoting events and also townwide events, you know, through social media and how we do it, and how and what other events that we want to organize. And one of the other events that we've organized is in association with SCORE. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's part of the Small Business Administration, a national organization where it used to be retired executives, but now it's any executive. They basically are business mentors, and they create free online and in-person, I want to call it training sessions on different topics. It could be like how to, you know, various business-related topics. And we've been promoting a lot of those on our social media. So those have been a lot of the, you know, the science survey, you know, these events coming up. And then finally, the last few items that we recently implemented, and it took multiple meetings, is on our website, social media, you know, sites. We created a job board. So any Wilton business that wants to, I'm not talking about like a professional on Wall Street kind of jobs,
Yeah.
but any like local business wants to advertise that they, you know, they're hiring, right? We have a job board on our Instagram, so you guys can go on it too as well. You know, it's part-time and full-time jobs. We have a business directory now, so by category. So if you want to look up what kind of restaurants, what kind of wellness places, we have that. We created this directory on our social media site. And we've also created a bunch of how-to guides to help businesses. So these are like how to start a business, right? Somebody's interested, we have a guide on that. How to market your business, especially through social media, like in Wilton, we have a guide on that. So these are some of the topics that we've been doing, and we've gotten a lot of good publicity from, you know, from newspapers and others. That we've been very active. I make sure that we're kind of active. I'm not afraid to kind of stick your neck out and try to do more, you know, at the risk of failing at some of this stuff. But that's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when you talk about amplifying these businesses, do they tend to be smaller businesses in town, or they tend to be like chains maybe?
Yeah, I mean, ASML probably doesn't need our help.
Yeah.
You know, you know, they're known worldwide, right? That's our number one employer.
Yeah.
But I think anything below that, you know, below that level, right? Any of these businesses, they, you know, they know that we have 4,500 followers on Instagram, right? We have, and every one of our metrics, right, improves every year, like the number of posts we make, the number of followers, right?
Yeah.
So so it's all different sizes, and it also includes some home businesses too. So people don't realize that we do have a very large population of home-based businesses, not all brick and mortar. So yeah, that's but it could be, you know, various restaurants, bakeries, you know,
Sure.
many of them do wellness. Yeah.
And what motivated you to, you know, do what you do?
Even though I work, most of my career, I've been working corporate. You know, I work in financial services. I work on Wall Street. I grew up in a small business environment. And same thing with the other members. They have all different backgrounds. So I'm in finance, financial services. Others are in marketing. Some have had their own businesses now. In the past, I grew up in that environment, so I know the pros and cons of being a small business owner. You know, and I find a really strong interest in that. So I wanted to join in and help them as much as I can. And all the other EDC commission members, which are right now a lot of very talented people. You know, like I said, some of them have had their own businesses. They've been executives in marketing. They just want to help. You know, they're part of the community. You know, and after a while, you know, after a few years of living in the community, you just want to kind of give back, because it's all volunteer. So I compare the Wilton EDC, where it's a volunteer. We meet once a month, right? So it's really part-time. Compare that to, let's say, Bethel and even Ridgefield, where you have some, and Norwalk, where you have full-time executive directors. Bethel is actually a development agency under, I think, Section 8, Chapter 132 of the Connecticut General Statutes. So they actually can get grants, right? So we're not that full-blown of an EDC. So us, it's all part-time, like once a month. but we all have the desire to, take time out from our, busy days and just help out businesses any capacity we can. And in the near future, in addition to amplifying, through all the stuff that I've mentioned, we're actually going to be much more active in organizing events. So you're probably going to see us, that's going to be one of the topics next week. We want to do like a restaurant week. So we'll coordinate it. Rather than us amplifying others' events, we're going to coordinate restaurant week, wellness week. Maybe we get like free, a discount membership at a gym or beauty spa or something like that. And then we have a few others that we're thinking of doing, if these are successful.
Yeah.
So.
So you're talking about how people can volunteer to do this. Is there any way where like high school students or some like other people can get involved and try to help promote these businesses?
Yeah, I mean, the way to do it is go through the town, right, the town clerk, but mostly it is done through, let's say, the two political parties, right? Through either side, you can go through them and they'll make a recommendations, but it's officially through the board of selectmen does the appointments. So, so whether you call the town directly, and I don't think there's an age restriction. There might be some kind of age restriction, right? But right now there's no high schoolers on the commission. But certainly, if you're good, like with all these surveys, if you're good at data analytics, right? That we spend a tremendous amount on analyzing data and using various, statistical, packages. We don't just rely on SurveyMonkey to give us the results. We do our own analysis. Especially SurveyMonkey doesn't do anything for open-ended questions where you can ask, why did you pick this answer, right? And you'd be amazed at what people say when they can write whatever they want, right? So somebody has that background to high school, right? I think a lot of boards would welcome that nowadays. It doesn't have to be computer science major, but just general business acumen, knowing how to look at data.
Yeah.
And but it is officially, you'll have to have eventually an interview with the Board of Selectmen, and they'll do the appointments. It's when we're at full staff, it's 9. We're at 8 right now, so there is one opening.
Cool.
And they try to keep it like well balanced, politically.
Yeah.
Whether one side of the aisle or unaffiliated, try to keep a balance.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Joe. It was really
Thank
nice
you.
meeting you. I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Yeah.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.